וגם אני פתאום רואה את הקולות.
And welcome back to another episode of KOLOT. This is your host, Rabbi Hillel Kappenstein, director of the Columbus Community Kollel, and it's a great honor and privilege to welcome all of you back to our next episode entitled God's Reason for the Internet. You heard that right, God's Reason for the Internet, featuring Shimon Kolyakov, the founder of TorahAnytime.com. For those who are familiar with Torah Anytime, you don't need to hear anything to know what they do. But for those who are not familiar, you have to check out the website. It's just an incredible website, and their app, which has so much content, so much Torah content. And they may very well be the greatest Torah spreaders in the digital world. It's just an incredible organization. And we're going to learn about how it all came about. We're also going to pay tribute to Rabbi Zachariah Wallerstein, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, who was just such an incredible person, inspired so many Jews, who had such a special relationship with Torah Anytime, and how they each made each other thrive. You're going to hear a little bit about that as well. To sponsor a KOLOT episode, email me at sponsorkolot@gmail.com. Once again, to sponsor an episode, email me at sponsorkolot@gmail.com. And without any further ado, allow me to tell you about our guest. Shimon Kolyakov is, by his own admission, a man obsessed. And that turns out to be a particularly good thing for Klal Yisrael, because as a child of Bukharian immigrants growing up in Queens, New York, once Shimon became drawn to Torah as a teenager, he became obsessed with sharing his newfound wealth. Together with his younger brother Reuben, who followed enthusiastically in his wake, he began videoing and sharing shiurim, taking advantage of the swiftly advancing development of the internet and following new breakthroughs in photographic technology. Shimon Kolyakov, thank you so much for joining KOLOT.
Thank you for having me. It's very excited about this opportunity to speak to you.
What is Torah Anytime?
So what is Torah Anytime? So Torah Anytime, Baruch Hashem, is comprised of many different platforms. It started off when we started about 17 years ago. It was just a website. And even before it was a website, we were recording lectures because these lectures had tremendous inspiration to my brother and I personally. We didn't know much about Judaism, coming from a communist country. We knew we were Jews, but not more than that. And little by little, a kiruv was being done to us. We were invited to listen to different lectures, and the dripping began, drip, and Baruch Hashem, it started to have an impact in my life. And I got to the point when I was a teenager that it had such a profound effect on me, these lectures by these amazing speakers. I just was compelled to start recording it and capturing it. What I wanted to do with these recordings at that time, I didn't really know. I just knew that it was that important that you have to capture it. So I started recording the audios, and then I started recording videos. And people used to see me doing these things, and they say, "Why are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm not really sure what I'm doing this for, but I just think it's important to do." So then people started to ask me for copies. They might want to hear it again. They might want to share it with someone who wasn't at the lecture. And then we started to mass produce copies, CDs, then DVDs. And many people came up to me and said, "Why don't you put it on the internet?" Internet at the time, 2002, 2003, was getting more and more popular. And I'm like, "That's a fabulous idea. I just don't know how to do it." And my brother, God bless him, he was going at the time to Queens College, and he was taking some very basic courses of web development, very, very basic stuff. And he said, "Shimon, enough is enough. You have this incredible concept, what's going on over here. We got to take it to the next level. Let's finally make this website." So we made a website, and we didn't really know that too many people are going to use it. But we posted a few lectures. It was a very primitive website. It didn't have any features. You couldn't fast forward. You couldn't rewind. You just have to watch and hope it doesn't crash, or you have to start again. We used to make some announcements at the local synagogues. We grew up at the Beit Gavriel Queens community, the Bukharan community over there on 108th Street. Big shout out to them. And basically, we saw the first month we had about 50 hits, and we were like, wow, 50 people came on this site to watch some lectures. It's pretty cool. We were pretty impressed. And then the next month we checked the analytics, and we saw that it was like 5 times more. It was to 250 people getting on. And then one thing led to another, and it started to spread like wildfire. This was in 2006 when the actual website launched. Excuse me. So then after the website, after we saw that it was a big success, we started to record more and more lectures. It started off with 2 lectures a week. It went to 5 lectures a week, 10 lectures a week. Just to fast forward to now, Baruch Hashem, we're recording about 700 lectures a week. All over the world, Baruch Hashem. But then, of course, after the website was a big success, we realized that we have to make it a much more user-friendly website, more advanced website. And then a few years later, 2012, I believe, 2012, we partner up with Mishkan Yecheskel, and we launched a brand new website. And that was day and night compared to the original one. We're actually about to launch another brand new website because technology never ends. It keeps evolving. That's a few months away, B'ezrat Hashem. We've been working on that for the past 3 years. Then, of course, smartphones began to get really, really popular. So then we said we have to make an app. We have to make an app. And Baruch Hashem, we launched an app in 2014. That was our first version of the app. And since then, about a year ago, we relaunched the new app. It was, again, it was day and night compared to the original app. So yes, we're a website, we're an app. Over time, we open up a hotline for people to dial in who don't want to use internet. And believe it or not, there's over 2 million calls a year that come into our hotline. And many people actually don't know about that, but yeah, there's a lot of people who are using the hotline. And we have a publishing department, which is led by Ilan Perchik, who's our writer. He takes lectures from Torah Anytime, and we've been making for almost 8 years now a newsletter called the Torah Anytimes, which is also going through a major rebranding right now. We also record a lot of conventions. That's where we just met not too long ago at the Aguda convention. We record conventions, maybe, 10 to 15 conventions a year. We're always being called. We're going to Torah Masora next week in Florida. And we go to Chafetz Chaim, and we go to Aish, and many, and Shabbos Kerev Tuni. So that's where we become the go-to for that, for live, for convention recording. We also have a platform called the Daily Dose, and we realize that in today's generation, the attention span of people is so small, it's so low. You got to grab it in 1 or 2 minutes. So Baruch Hashem, we have so much content. We actually have close to 200,000 shirim at this point. So we said we have so much content. Let's start finding some clips, and it started a few years ago. And we took the best speakers, their best lectures, the most profound, compelling 2-3 minutes of the shir, the climax. We pulled it out. We have a very talented musical director, Yisrael Lament, who many of the music that you hear on it, he actually plays himself. And we put the music on it. In the end, you get this compelling one-line takeaway on this as well. And Baruch Hashem, it started as a WhatsApp broadcast. And now it's close to 40,000 people on this broadcast that get this daily dose every day. But in addition to that, we also spread it other ways as well. We have an email for people who don't want to use WhatsApp. They get it through email. But then something interesting started to happen. The people who are getting on, they're like, hey, you're already up to dose number 1,200, 1,250. I missed 1,000 doses, and they're so amazing. How do I get them? So Baruch Hashem, we created the Daily Dose app. You could go to the App Store or the Play Store, and you could download the Daily Dose app, and you'll have access to every dose from the beginning. Almost 1,500 doses right now, and you could search by speaker, and more features to come on that dose on that app. So that's the Daily Dose project, and it became so popular that we decided we want to write a book on these daily doses. We've got a lot of requests for that, and we were writing this book, and we were 90% done with it. And it was a very unique book because after every reading the dose on the book, you'll be able to take out your phone and scan it, the QR code, and it'll take you to the dose. You'll watch it in the video format. So we were 90% done with that. And then tragically, our dear friend Rabbi Zachariah Wallerstein Zatzal passed away about a little more than 7 months ago. And so we put that project on hold, and we said, we're still shocked. We were shocked before as well. It's hard to believe. So we said, we have to do something. So Baruch Hashem, we had a lot of shiurim already written up from years from the Torah Anytimes newsletter, and we put it all together. We edited and re-edited and re-edited, and Baruch Hashem, just a few days ago, about a week ago, the book finally came out. Rabbi Zachariah Wallerstein.
Yes.
And this book is this is the first of its kind. There's 108 chapters, 108 stories, messages, Musar Devrei Torah, beautifully written. And after every chapter, you have a QR code right there where you just simply scan it with your phone, or you could even dial in if you don't have a smartphone with the code.
Wow.
And you can actually listen to Rabbi Wallerstein himself from his own words, his own mouth, say what you just read. And Baruch Hashem, we printed 10,000 of these, and it looks like we have to go into second printing immediately. So I encourage everyone to get a copy, feldheim.com.
Wow. I had in my list of questions at the very end to make a tribute to Rabbi Wallerstein, but now that you brought him up so early, let's talk about that right now, because,
Sure.
I pre-ordered the book as soon as I got the email. It was, a good few months ago, right?
Right.
I pre-ordered it. Rabbi Wallerstein is someone that was very dear to me. Not that we were close. I mean, we've spoken a couple of times. My wife has worked on his book, Hakaras Atov, when she was working at Art Scroll. But Rabbi Wallerstein was someone that we frequently listened. Tell us about your relationship, and not just your personally, but also the organization.
So I believe it was 2007 when the Chazak organization, our dear friends at Chazak, they invited Rabbi Wallerstein to speak in Bet Gavriel in Queens. And we, of course, came with our camera, which we always do when guest speakers come in. And I never heard of Rabbi Wallerstein before that. And I remember walking into the Bet Gavriel and seeing probably, 400 girls at least, if not more. I'm like, who is this person, and why is this place so packed? And within a few moments after he started speaking with that fire, I'll never forget. We actually have that shir on Torah Anytimes. It's his first year. You could go to the oldest. You'll see it was on dating and marriage.
Yes, one of my favorites.
I was blown away. I'm like, where has this person been all my life? That was going through my head. And after the shir, I came up to him, I introduced myself, and I said, Wallerstein, I'm from an organization called Torah Anytime, and we recorded you. I said, do you have a weekly shir? He goes, yeah, every Tuesday night in or Yitzchak in Brooklyn. I'm like, do you mind if we bring a few thousand people into your shir every week? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, this camera over here, and the thousands of people are watching. Would it be okay if we just add a few thousand more people? And he's like, see you Tuesday. And since then, from that moment, basically, for years, I personally was going to that shir to record. It was a late shir. We used to get out like at midnight sometimes. Started late. Rabbi Wallerstein was like Superman, so he was always doing something, some emergency, some situation. He was getting to the shir late, always doing important things, and it was very special. It was very special. And since then, of course, both of us had tremendous hakaras hatov to each other. He supported everything we did, and we did everything we could to help him. He was always on the map, but we really helped him get on the universe, with spreading it. He always used to joke how before people didn't know what he looks like. They used to listen to him maybe on audio, whatever it is. But now he's getting stopped on the street. And everywhere we go, we used to joke, we used to follow him to record a shir. We spent a lot of conventions together, many conventions together. We went to each other's simchas. I remember he came to the bris of one of my boys, and we actually didn't name him after Roy Wallerstein. That's not an Ashkenazi thing to do, but we named him Zachariah. But we said, no, don't worry, it's not up to you, But in the Sephardi world, it is a kavod after a living person, but not so much in Ashkenazi world. But so I said, don't be concerned, don't worry about it. But yeah, so he was just always there for us. Whenever we had our events, our fundraisers, we needed, some type of speaking situation. He was always there. So tremendously missed. The entire family, was very special. It was in his blood. The reason we're so connected to him because we were very similar. Like, it was his life, or Nava, and all his organizations, all his schools, the ranch, and everything that he did. It was literally his life. And that's how we feel about Torah in time. And I guess that's why there was such a strong bond.
There was an incident with Rabbi Wallerstein where someone, I think this is about 5 or 6 years ago, where someone took a clip and did a hit piece with him. It was very unfortunate. It was so out of order, so out of context. It was distorted. It was terrible. It's frankly disgusting. But
I know a lot of people that benefited from that though when they heard it.
So interestingly enough, I actually went to listen to the entire thing in its entirety, and I say over one of the Devar Torahs, Baruch Gozer u'Mekayim, how Hashem could give a gzera, but he's Mekayim the person through the gzera, not just the actual evil decree, but the person could survive that. I still remember that Devar Torah in the lecture. But my question is about those unfortunate, messy, sticky situations. They're using your clips, right? Your Torah Anytime clips.
Yeah.
How do you deal with when someone takes your clip and they distort it? And, in this case, it actually may have had unintentional benefits, but in general, when people distort things from your website, how do you react?
Well, we have a disclaimer that you can't really use anything without our permission. Just one of the reasons is to make sure that it's done the right way to avoid these situations. But at the end of the day, you can't really stop anyone.
Right.
We don't have a download feature on the video, but someone who knows how to do it will figure it out. And you could always take a phone and just video the screen also.
Right.
So there's no real way you just do your best. You can't crazy, but it's not overall. It's not a like a constant problem or issue. But
They're
when you get so big, like Ray Wallerstein, and such an impact, you're gonna have haters. And that's actually a sign you're doing something right.
Exactly.
So, nothing wrong with that.
No, when the way someone once put it to me is like the Yetzer Hara knows who to start up with. He knows whose way he needs to get in, and Okay, wow. So yeah, and this
so this is out, and this is really something special.
All about change.
We put our heart and souls into this, especially my brother Ruben, Elon Perchik. So now we have to get back to the Daily Dose book.
Yes.
We're finishing that up. That's also going to be something incredible, like 30 different speakers in one book.
Mm-hmm. Can you open the book and find out what's Rabbi Wallerstein's full name, Hebrew name, or do you know it offhand?
Yeah, it's Zachariah Shimon ben Yitzchak.
So we're going to dedicate this episode Li'iloi Nishmas Zachariah Shimon ben Yitzchak Zecher Tzadik Livracha.
Yeah.
But once we're discussing him,
I almost do a hashkava every week in shul. So I know the name, we have to.
We definitely have to. And it should be a legacy that carries us through, all about change. And in some of my favorite, I know we could go on forever, but just in closing, I have some of my favorite lines from Rabbi Wallerstein is the moment you think you're getting buried, you're really getting planted. I've definitely used that in hard, difficult, stressful situations. The only time you fail, you finish it, please.
Is when you don't start or try.
That's right. The only time you fail is when you don't try. That's right. So those are some of my favorites from Rabbi Wallerstein.
You know the story about pushing the rock?
No, go for it.
No, I thought you guys are a part of the one. No, it's a long story, but it's just the concept of our job is not to move the rock. When Hashem was telling this guy, push the rock, and he thought he was a failure because the rock wasn't moving, this huge boulder.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, he found out, no, I never asked you to move it. Your job was just to push the rock, and you did a great job. That was the punchline of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're looking for results, and we have to just do what we have to do. One of the things I got after listening to Rabbi Wallerstein so many years is we do our best, Hashem does the rest.
Right.
and even our best is all Hashem anyway.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to Hashem. But we can't control results. We just have to do what we have to do.
That's right. Now, what a way to conclude this segment. There's a famous teaching from our rabbis of Ein Mukta Ma'ocher B'Torah. There's no chronological order. So while I wanted to save this as a closing to the episode, we went out of order. So now let me go out of order. Let's go back to yourself, if that's okay. I know you're a humble guy. You don't like to talk to talk to yourself. No, talk about yourself. Maybe you do talk to yourself. I don't know. But you were in public school originally, right? And today you're arguably among the top of Torah spreaders in the world. How did that come out of public school?
That's a loaded question. I don't know how that happened. I mean, Hashem definitely just picked us, probably schus avot, of why, my brother and I, we got lucky to be able to do this. But I just remember feeling when it all started that we have to spread this. This is the truth. Rabbi, many Kiruv rabbis, we used to go to gateways a lot. Also, those Shabbatons back in the day, listening to those Kiruv speakers. But we just felt like, how could we not spread this with so many people who don't know about this? It wasn't much of a choice for us. It was just something that we were just drawn to. So we just started. We just started, and it was never enough. Right now, this year, we broke 12 million hours a year of Torah spreading. For the third year in a row, over 1 million users have come onto our platforms. But we're more driven than ever, to continue, because there's still so much to do. So we did go to public school because that's what my parents knew. There was no concept of having a Jewish education. I mean, my parents and grandparents both were not observant. Now, Baruch Hashem, my parents are fully Shomer Shabbos, Shomer Mitzvahs, and everything's great, Baruch Hashem, the whole family. But before that, they weren't. But my great grandfather was religious, and his father, and his father, and his father. That's what happens when communism comes in. It did create an impact, and it took out 2 generations almost. But the desire is there, and it all came back thanks to Kiruv rabbis. Rabbi Zalman Deutscher actually has a yeshiva called Yeshiva Primary. It's in its 53rd year. And he's running for 53 years. And it is this especially yeshiva designed for Jewish kids who are in public school. It's not a typical yeshiva. There's not too many yeshivas like this. You take a Jewish guy to public school, where are they going to go? Can't go to a mainstream yeshiva. So and I'm still very close to Rabbi Zalman Deutscher, and I thank him tremendously for saving my life and all my future life and all my future descendants, because that's the yeshiva I went to for a few years that the seeds were planted at. And it was a struggle at home because my parents were not observant at the time. I was learning concepts. I was trying to bring those concepts home, and my parents didn't want to hear it. What parent wants to? When a kid tells a parent what to do, I want to start keeping kosher. It's like, I'm like, hey, I'm living my life this way. This is what I know. Don't tell me what to eat and stuff like that. So it was a struggle. But you kept at it. It came to the point where my parents were like, "Oh, they're brainwashing you. You're becoming a fanatic." I'm like, so they avoided my brother from going to yeshiva as elementary because they didn't want two of me, So, but in the end, Baruch Hashem, they realized what the truth is. They realized the way of Hashem, and they feel bad about it. They gave me a little bit of a hard time, but Baruch Hashem, now, like I said, my father can't get detached from the base midrash. He's there like practically all day, davening and learning. And my mom is just reading her Tehillim and doing her thing. And it's absolutely an amazing story. So tremendous thank you to all those people involved. My uncle, actually, Uncle Baruch Kolyakov, he was the only one in our entire family that has some Yiddishkeit. And he also was a big factor on helping us come back as well. So big shout out to him and everyone else involved.
No, at the Kola, I do a lot of lunch and learns with teens in public school, and just hearing your story should be so inspiring to them about the things they should never give up on, and the dreams and aspirations. And look at what you're doing today. Um, was there a turning point, an instance, some sort of place in this journey where like things like, okay, that was it. That was like when things really turned around.
There wasn't any one thing. It was all very gradual. I'm a big believer on when you're growing, you do it in
Step by
comfortable
step,
steps. Yeah,
step by
comfortable
step.
steps. You don't want to do too much too fast. The person can get burnt out and to become counterproductive.
Correct.
So it's just important to go as long as you're moving in the right direction. That's the most important thing because as we hear very famously, if you're not moving up, you're moving down. There's no such thing
Right.
as
No
staying in one
staying,
place.
staying. That's right. That's right.
It doesn't exist, and don't fool yourself to think that it does. So, but we have to continue because, again, it's I can't believe I'm already 45 years old. It's hard to believe. I feel like I'm still like but there's still a lot to do. 17 years we're doing this, Baruch Hashem, and just wanted to let all of your viewers know it's very important. Um, we encourage you. This is all for free. There's no money involved with Torah Anytime. We're not asking for you to pay for any of the lectures. Download the new Torah Anytime app. The old
Yes.
one is blue and it's obsolete.
This one's white.
Say thank you to the blue app and delete it. Go to the App Store, go to the Play Store, get the new app, leave a 5-star review if you can. That'd be a tremendous help. Also, get the Daily Dose app. So we have 2 apps on the Play Store. The new website is about 3 months away, B'ezrat Hashem. Rabbi Hillel, it's going to be a game changer. We put so much into it. We basically took all the top video sites of like YouTube and Netflix and Hulu. We took all their incredible features. We added some of our own features, and that's what's coming out soon. So the new website, look out for it. Okay, it's going to be a game changer. What else? The newsletter is going through a major rebranding as well.
Torah Anytimes.
The Torah Anytimes, right? So if you go to torahanytime.com/newsletter, you could subscribe and get it in your inbox every week. It's free.
That's right.
Check it out. Do it.
I get it every week, everyone. I get it every
Okay.
week.
Yeah. Many places they print it out and they give it out in the shuls. Many
Beautiful.
cities around the world. I wanted to just let everyone know also there's a platform called Chesed Anytime. This is because we can't stop, we can't slow down. That's our motto. We're just getting started. What Chesed Anytime is that many people around the world need a Chesed done. They need some type of a help, whatever the topic is. And there's many people also who also want to do a Chesed. They want to help people. So this status, it's a WhatsApp status. I'll give you the number in a moment. Basically, you matches are made throughout the week, and right now we're averaging between 30 to 50 different chesed opportunities that are being matched up, and it's become such a big success that we decided to make a Chesed Anytime app, a worldwide app where anyone in the world who needs a chesed done, who wants to do a chesed, those matches could be made. But in the meantime, just very quickly to give your wonderful listeners the Chesed Anytime a number is all you have to do is save this number, and it's a WhatsApp status, and it is here we go. It is 929-602-9300. Again, 929-602-9300. You save it, you get added to the Chesed Anytime status, and if you need a Chesed done or if you want to do a Chesed, check it out. Can I talk about just 2 more future projects that are coming up?
Please.
Torah Anyone. Torah Anyone is going to be a very special platform because Rabbi Hillel, if you have someone who is new to Judaism, or who is someone who is a beginner or curious, who just wants to learn more, putting them on Torah Anytime might be a little confusing because
advanced.
Where do I go? And sometimes if you click on maybe the wrong speaker at the wrong time, and if you're not ready for that, it might be a little bit like, hey, what's going on over here?
For sure.
So we're creating a very special platform called Torah Anyone. It is for anyone at any level to make everyone feel comfortable, and it's going to be special curated content. All the Hebrew is going to be translated to make sure everyone is comfortable and everyone understands.
I love this.
Yeah, it's going to be really designed for the beginner or someone who is growing or trying to get to a certain goal spiritually or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, so very excited about that project. It's called Torah Anyone, and Rabbi Pinchas Landis is actually our
Sure.
partner in that. Very very
Sure.
special yid.
Yeah.
And we're excited. We're actually gonna meet him I think for the first time tomorrow. We have a meeting with him.
Oh wow.
Coming
Our
into New
neighbor
York.
he's our neighbor in Cleveland.
Really? Ah, very cool. Amazing, amazing. I love your city. I actually have visited your city. I'm
Yeah,
gonna visit some of your city.
we're gonna work on that soon. Don't worry.
Right, right. Yeah, so Torah Anyone. You could check that out. The URL is live, so you could just check out what's there now, but we're really gonna pump it up with a lot of content.
And there'll be an app for it.
Yeah, there's gonna be an app for it as well. Yeah. Mobile version for sure. And then one more thing I just want to mention, we can't forget about the yeshiva boys in elementary grades.
Mm-hmm.
So many of them are struggling behind. So we have a platform where we want to launch called Rebbe Anytime.
Wow.
Because they're kids who are learning a little bit behind in their Gemara or Mishnayos, and maybe their fathers who didn't go through the system, like I didn't go through the system, and don't have the skills to learn with their kids when they get home, or they don't have the skills to learn with their kids, or they don't have the time or the money to get a tutor. We can't forget about those fifth, sixth, seventh graders, fourth graders, third graders. So we're creating a platform called Rebbe Anytime, and we're going to get America's top Rebbeim to give over the Gemara and Mishnayos in such a way that it's really going to be understandable, and hopefully it's going to help them know how to understand the Gemara and the Mishnah, and to be a tremendous benefit to all of them.
So no Jew will be left behind.
Our motto is after 120 years, you'll have no excuse why you didn't learn. You have no excuse. Right. And like I mentioned, we have the hotline as well, which for the people who are at the level where they choose not to use internet devices for whatever, they could dial in to listen. So you don't need internet as well. So no one left behind, no excuses.
I want to get to your next thing. I have 2-3 things I want to get to. It's hard to know which order to go, especially when we don't have order in this episode. But why don't we start with the daily dose? And I want to present a different side. I personally do get the Daily Dose app. I love it, especially with the music from Yisrael Ament. You said
that's right. That's right.
I think we crossed paths in yeshiva in Lakewood. Yeah, I remember him. Very talented guy. My question I wanted to ask you, and I want you to push back. I want you to respond with strength and passion, like you have.
Should be myself. Okay.
Yeah. Does the Daily Dose give the connotation is like Torah is something that you could check in and check out? Like I take a dose of medicine every day, and I'm not thinking about the medicine the rest of the day. It's something I just do to make sure that I did. And with the Daily Dose Torah, which is 2-3 minutes, is that perhaps giving people the opportunity to like, oh, I did my Torah, now I could do whatever I want for the rest of the day? Do you feel that's a concern? I'm sure you don't. Why?
First of all, great question. Thank you for that. Rabbi Hillel, can I tell you a little secret? Okay, I don't know. Can you mute everyone out? No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little secret. The Daily Dose, really what it is, it's a trick. It's a trick. It's bait. Because we know that there are some people that won't listen to 30, 40, 50 minutes shiurim. So what do? We spice it up. We take 2 minutes. We put some spice of music. We put some spice of drama. And we know that once they listen to the 2 minutes, they're going to fall so in love with it, because we also put the links to the full shiur where it came from. And we know how many clicks we get from there to the full shiur from the Daily Dose, because we have a custom link. Hundreds and hundreds of people a day end up clicking to watch the full shiur from 2 minutes. And then you know what happens? Something even more than that. They never heard of the speaker, but they were willing to give up 2 minutes to listen. Not only did they go to listen to the full shiur where it came from, but now they became their weekly followers. And now they listen every single week, 45-minute shiur. And it all started with a 2-minute clip.
That's
so that's not the end goal. That's just a trick. It's just a bait. And it works incredibly. We got so much feedback about that.
That's incredible. Actually, it's not a new idea. I've heard this mashal said before, and actually it happens to me all the time. When you go shopping in a supermarket, they have little mini tastes. And if you like the taste,
Samplers.
you figure out how to buy the rest. You're a talented, smart guy if you want to buy the rest. Yeah. So that sounds like what you're doing. I love that. That was pretty strategic on your part. I have to
Yeah,
give it to you.
I mean, I have testimonials, and these are word for word testimonials. I'm just going to read one to you here from a
Mhm.
daily dose, and these could be people that's the only Torah they get all day. This is possible. I'm an 18-year-old girl who went through terrible depression and didn't want to live anymore. I came across daily dose number 700, and that clip was a turning point for me that literally changed and saved my life. And Baruch Hashem, I'm now on the right track. I can't thank you enough.
Wow.
That's there's no words. Just even to say that's priceless is an understatement. And that happened. That the number dose number 700 was Rabbi Yossi ben Shushan, I believe. That particular dose.
I noticed that some of the daily dose have like the top tier number one speakers. Then I see sometimes you mix it up with less known speakers, and that must be a way to pump them up because they have such amazing content in all of their shiurim. And it sounds like a lot of people, my wife included, she's like, "Who is this guy?"
Right.
And
yeah,
then
a lot of people became very famous. Yeah, we're like scouts. We try to find like the talent out there. We're doing this for so many years now. Like we have like a sense of what people are going to resonate with, because it's important that we find someone for everyone. Someone for everyone. That's something as well that we try to do.
We each have our own chelek, our own portion in Torah. Sounds like you're doing that.
Just one more testimonial. I used to spend endless hours caught in the internet, and thanks to lectures I heard on Torah Anytime, it helped me break away from that and get rid of my time-wasting devices. I now use the Torah Anytime hotline. Thanks so much.
That's actually a great segue to my next question. You guys have, I don't know if you still use it, but you definitely did have a tagline. I even had it as a bumper sticker on my car.
That's right.
You know where I'm going with this one. God's reason for the internet, right?
Yeah. Torah Anytime, God's reason for the internet.
That's so who coined that one? Is that you?
I think so. I think we know this concept. I believe it's in the Gemara somewhere that everything Hashem created, you could use it for good or bad. So the internet was created. So we know the challenges of the internet and the addictions and everything else. So what's the good about it? So the good seems like we could be able to spread the word of Hashem on a mass level. So
I agree
it's
with
not to be taken literally. No one knows Hashem's cheshbonot. It's just a cute little tagline.
Right. I know you got some pushback for it,
and a little bit,
yeah,
but nothing crazy. I mean, I tell those people, just relax.
Yeah, relax.
Go through something. Productive.
Let me be so meticulous in your words too. Okay, take it easy. But it is cute, and actually, I believe it does convey that message. Is that obviously HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted there to be a positive use somehow, because we can't. Some people could go without it, but there are a lot, probably the vast majority of people cannot. Let me push back. All right. This is what I get paid the small bucks for. I get paid the small bucks for. We interviewed Rabbi Ephraim Goldberg, and I asked him, who I love. I really love his Torah, his shiurim. No one should ever, and at least people in Columbus should not listen to them, because then you'll know everything that I say in my share before I give it. So I'd appreciate you not listening. Jokes aside, I asked him, because he talked about the dangers of the internet, and then he started to focus on the dangers of social media. And the dangers are not a secret. How many relationships have been squashed because of social media? How many people's self-esteem has been crushed because of the comparing to other people on social media? And yet I asked Rabbi Ephraim, why don't why are you all over social media with your shiurim? If this is how dangerous it could be, why don't you why why don't you stop and just keep it more simple on your website at RabbiEphraimGoldberg.com? And he gave he gave his answer. He said he does get that asked a lot. He said even sometimes by his own family, but he said this on air. But his answer is that he's there to meet people where they are. Asher hu sham, where they are right then. If that's where they are, he wants his Torah to reach them. So my question to you is, do you accept that as a motto? And if yes, then why isn't Torah Anytime on social media? Or are you already?
Okay, first of all, great question, and I do appreciate it. I really do. That is very true, and that's a great answer, and I definitely accept it. We like to look at it through a different concept. The story is like this. No matter what we think of technology or the internet, the reality is that it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be used, and there's nothing you can do about it. So we figure hashkafically, where we're coming from is that every minute that a person could be on Torah Anytime or a platform or one of the Torah Anytime services is one less minute they could be who knows where doing who knows what on the internet. You fight fire with fire. It is what it is. You can't, we don't promote the use of the internet. We don't promote it.
You have the hotline.
It's for people that have internet anyway. Do we tell people get a smartphone because you should get the Torah Anytime app? You'll never hear us say that. It's for people that have it anyway. We have a hotline for people who don't use it. So we fight fire with fire. You could talk about internet all day long, but the reality is people are using it. It's not going away. And that's why we make all these platforms. And yes, we're on Instagram. Yes, we're on YouTube, where we have all these platforms. But what do we use those platforms for? Not the end goal. We use those platforms. We put in, like I mentioned before, the debate, the teasers, the teaser trailers, to get everyone back into Torah Anytime, because that's not the end goal. We're not encouraging people to subscribe, until a little secret. If you read our description on YouTube, you know how everyone is saying subscribe, 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 all the YouTubers?
Yeah.
We say just the opposite. We encourage you not to subscribe. You never saw that before.
No.
I hope YouTube doesn't pick that up.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, we encourage you not to subscribe. Rather stop using it and watching this stuff here and go on Torah Anytime. You can read it yourself. Check it out.
I'll definitely do that.
But yeah, that's our answer with it. You fight fire with fire, which I guess is very similar to what the rabbi mentioned. So we have to do it. We can't be in denial. We can't be in the dark.
Right, but would you go on, I don't know, TikTok or Twitter, Instagram? You do all that?
We have a social media person, and we're looking to hire a full-time social media person right now. Anyone out there watching, interested? Yeah. Reach out to me.
Shimon at TorahAnytime.com.
Shimon at TorahAnytime.com. Yeah, we're looking for a full-time social media person, because whichever way we can get our Instagram also just generically just growing like crazy. We don't even put the full doses there. The doses themselves are teasers as it is, but we put a portion of the dose, like a teaser of the teaser, and it's getting so many views and shares. And we also communicate with a lot of influencers. My brother Ruben is more involved with that. I think I forgot all their names, but we definitely collaborate with influencers on Instagram. But you wouldn't see us marketing or advertising. Go to Instagram or go to YouTube to watch. They're designed just to be ways of getting people who are there anyway in those locations to create awareness and bring them back into the safe and the safe zone of Torah Anytime, the safe zone.
Wow. So my final green zone, that's right. Or red zone, whatever. Right. But my final question. I just saw you. We had a chance to catch up at the Aguda convention, and at every single session, there was, except for Shabbos, there was a guy with a camera, with a stand, and it was being recorded and live streamed. And there were multiple sessions going on at every time, at every moment, with I don't know, a couple thousand people there, right? It was a big convention. Food was delicious, whoever the caterer was, by the way. But how do you?
Trying to lose the weight.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I heard a great line about Pesach programs. Don't mean to get distracted, but I just did. The way they should charge for Pesach programs is they should weigh you when you come in, weigh you when you come out, and it's $1,000 a pound.
That's so funny.
Uh,
That's great. By the way, we had about 100,000 devices watching throughout the
100,000 over the weekend.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about the preparation and the execution for such conventions.
Hashem has blessed us with the most amazing team. Mayor Summers was leading
Right?
the way,
Mayor,
our operation director, and all the volunteers who were there. It's just remarkable. It's nice I'm getting all this credit and everything, but it's really nothing to do with me. These guys are amazing. There's a lot of preparation. Probably a week and a half before, making sure all the phone lines are set up. Because remember, people are dialing in also, making sure there's enough bandwidth, making sure that the internet is working right, backup plan, then a backup plan to a backup plan, and the scheduling and who's going where and what, and making sure the audios are working, backup audios. So there's a lot of preparation, and this is what we do, though. We don't look at it as a job. We're just getting the Torah out to the people, especially something like a good convention where the topics they talk about are so important and so relevant.
From the greatest of our generation.
Right, the Gedolim, So it was very nice. And again, we're just gearing up for next week. We're going to a place where we never recorded before, so we always get a little bit nervous about that. We don't know how strong the internet is going to be, what the situation is. At the Torah Masaron is coming up next week.
These conventions are huge, and but they're huge, and it goes both ways. It's a tremendous amount of effort that goes in, but the rewards that come out are just as big. So much hatzlacha to you, not just on the convention the week of the 14th or something, the weekend over there, the 14th, 15th or something like that, but really hatzlacha with everything you're doing and the new initiatives, the Torah Anyone, the new website that's coming out.
Rebbe Anytime.
I love that.
The new book, Daily Dose book.
The Daily Dose book, that's 90% done, I think, right?
Yes, that's right.
And this really is God's reason for the internet, for all we know. And may it continue. This is one of the ways we're going to bring Mashiach, the Torah and the Chesed Anytime. Torah and Chesed go so well together. Derech Eretz Kadma the Torah, with Derech Eretz, having good, proper character comes with or even before Torah. So this is a treat for me to learn a little more, get a closer look, and let you be able to share what you guys are up to our listeners. And may this be a source of inspiration for people. Sign up for the newsletter, sign up for the Daily Dose, download the app, check out the new website, buy the Rabbi Zachariah Wallerstein book, all those things.
Wow, Rabbi Hillel, that's perfect. You're really good. I see the passion. I see you're also.
I could only say what I personally do, and these are things that I personally get. So thank you for all the Torah that I've gotten because of you. I used to joke. I shouldn't say this, but I will. Torah Anytime should really get a cut of my salary. Not that the cut's big, but I guess so much of my material from Torah Anytime. I'll just tell you quickly. My personal Rebbe and Rav, Rabbi Yosef Greenfeld, how many parenting lectures we've heard from Dr. Meir Wickler, who we just recorded a couple weeks ago. My very dear mentor, Dr. David Lieberman, who I had the privilege of recording when I still lived in Lakewood for Torah Anytime. Those are just a few of many.
Yes, you just reminded me. That's right. You're so involved with Torah. You're one of the volunteers of Torah Anytime. And it's such a zechut that whoever hits that record button, like you did so many times, anyone who ever watches it, the zechut goes right back to you. So you're a smart person. You know what to do.
Especially with Dr. Lieberman, who takes mental health, human behavior, and ties it into Torah, because Torah speaks to everything. And it was a beautiful Kiddush Hashem. I personally learned a lot. I think my relationship's improved. You could ask my better half, but it was quite the treat. And I developed a great relationship with Dr. Lieberman. So Dr. Dave, if you're listening, big shout out to you.
He's a dear friend. He's so special.
Yeah. And he's come here to Columbus twice, I think, in the last year or two. So anyways, so thank you so much for coming on. And my final blessing, I've given a few, but my final birchas hedjit, as we would say, the small blessing I could give is your name should really sum up everything you do. It should be the Kolyakov, the voice of Yaakov who was Ish Tam Yoshev Ohel, Yaakov who sat in the tent and learned. May you be able to take that voice and spread it out to as many Jews, to as many places as for many, many years to come.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi Hillel. And we have to just thank the wives of the Torah and Time people as well. Without their support, there's no way we could do what we do. Tremendous thank you to our executive director, Yosef Davis, who does so much behind the scenes. I don't know if you know him personally or not.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
sure.
Great. Very, very special. Moshe Sofer, who was so involved with especially our hotline. My brother Ruben, of course, Mayor Summers, all the volunteers. A tremendous thank you to Hashem for putting this team together and giving us supposed to do what we do. And of course, to all our donors and supporters. And we encourage everyone who has the means to contact us, to discuss with us ways how you could partner with Torah and Time and create a tremendous legacy for you and your family. And to you, Rabbi Hillel, I want to also give a bracha. The zechut of everything that we do. It should be a tremendous zechut for you and your family and everything that you do, all your endeavors, and the impact you're making on the klal and the way that you do it. And B'ezrat Hashem, our relationship should only be enhanced, and we should do many good things together, B'ezrat Hashem.
Amen. Now, this is not a birchas hedjit. When it comes from you, with all this chusn that you have, this is a much bigger bracha. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And looking forward to connecting soon.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. All the very best. Take care.
To listen to all KOLOT episodes and see upcoming guests, visit kolotpodcast.com. We are also on all podcast players. Type in KOLOT on iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Podbean, and Amazon. Share with your friends and please make sure to give us a 5-star review. KOLOT is a project of the Columbus Community Kollel, a full-time Jewish learning center in Bexley, staffed with high-caliber Torah scholars. Ever since 1995, boys, girls, men and women from all backgrounds and affiliations have found many opportunities to connect with Torah and mitzvos at the Kollel. Whether it's a study partner, an engaging lesson, or a program, the Kollel is your one-stop shop for all your Jewish learning. If you want to know how you can benefit from the Kollel, visit thekollel.org. That is TheKollel.org, and forever be inspired.